Hello everyone, and welcome to this Video Some Frontier video. My name is Jay Whitefield, and today I'd like to talk to you about a laptop computer that I acquired around about Christmas time. Now I'm really sorry that it's taken me up until now to do a video about the machine. However, here it is. I do have the machine. But before I actually go on and actually show you the computer, I want to share with you the eBay listing. Because, well, if I'm going to be honest, this is what caused me to actually go through with the purchase and say, yes, actually I think I am going to get this machine. Now, luckily I was still able to actually find the listing. It's still archived. On the listing is actually called Hi-Grade Notino AS7400 laptop. You can understand how I probably found this. Actually going online to eBay, typing compact laptop or something like that, and this obviously came up. It isn't a compact machine, but we're going to go into what it is in a few. But first, here's a listing. It reads as thus. You have here the opportunity in a lifetime to bid on a retro laptop in every sense of this word. It only has old school parallel, serial and modem connections. So if you're hoping for USB or Ethernet, you'll have no chance unless you purchase some type PCMCIA card. If you are searching for a games machine, then this is the ideal computer for you. But due to the memory and RAM restrictions, you are probably best to stick to Paperboy and Asteroids rather than Splinter Cell. When done with Paperboy, you could still probably get away with letting your illiterate children use it as a word processor, and if still living in the 80s, plug your parallel port printer in to let them print out their child benefit and dole queue forms. Pretty bleak. On the other hand, this could be bought as a media centre. Forget downloads, support the Chinese bootleggers, and go back to good old CDRs. You can watch any of the old classics on this device, but with this battery life, I wouldn't chance the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Unfortunately, if your thing is to sit in front of a webcam naked and discuss weather and politics, unless you're blind, this isn't the laptop for you, as although you have sound, there is no webcam facility. On a more optimistic note, you could continue using your current iPad and join the Shoreditch crowd who have this as a retro I want to look cool device. Just imagine the looks you would get plonking this on a table in Starbucks. Make sure the table is supported. It's never going to get half-inched from under your nose. With the weight of this, you would need the Ukraine weightlifting team to help lift it. However, this doesn't have to be used only as a computer. There are many other possibilities to breathe life back into this old baby. Why not use it as a bookstand, a fancy doorstop, a glass cabinet, a picture frame, a paperweight, or even take the innards out and use it as a fish tank? A laptop? I don't think so. The possibilities are endless. Why not put it in a posh bag and leave it on a pub table and see how long it takes some little scally to come over and half-inch it? You could even film it and watch him as he falls off his bike as it topples over under the weight. Alternatively, leave it on the underground and get to watch the bomb squad in action. Not advisable if of an Asian origin. In fact, to be honest, I'm actually quite surprised he's got away with that. I think I need to actually put a wee disclaimer in here that I do not support terrorism in any form. Despite meltdowns, I am all for world peace. So you can no terrorism. Seriously. I mean, you could take this sort of machine on the underground in a bag, and it would be perfectly fine, just as long as you made sure you were using it the way that it was intended to be used. And no nonsense. Seriously, guys, terrorism is not the way to go. Anyway, as I was saying, as you can see, the possibilities are endless. In fact, whilst writing this, I'm even starting to consider keeping it myself. No, that would be selfish, but it has put an extra £5 on its value. Happy bidding and get yourself a bit of history. 256 megs of RAM, 10GB hard drive, CD and floppy disk drive, modem, serial and parallel port, Windows XP with Word 2007. Disclaimers: don't buy if you want a good laptop. No returns accepted. Will not ship abroad, even if you are an orphan from a poor family. Oh dear. That's a bit of a shame. So, when I first read this listing, I was in fact, I did find it extremely funny. And that actually caused me to actually put my bid on. And I actually won the machine. I actually got this machine for £10, but it was another £10 postage, and it came from London, England. So, I think, without further ado, now's probably a good time to take a look at the machine. I'm just going to switch over to my phone camera. Let's get started. Here is the machine. I'm just going to unplug it so I can actually show you it. Right. Hang on, let me just unplug everything on it. There we go. So, at the front, as you can possibly see, you've just got, an infrared port. And you've got charging and power lights and the power switch. On the right hand side you have what I believe the battery compartment. The battery actually does still hold a charge, so that's really quite nice. And a DVD-ROM drive. Now this is the slowest laptop, rather, that I have that came standard with a DVD drive. I mean, I wonder how long you've been able to spec DVD drives on Dell Latitudes for. The C-series ones are obviously interchangeable, so you could stick one in a CPI or even a CP. Not that I would recommend actually using such a slow machine to watch movies. And on the back, it seems at first that you've only got the power port. And another infrared port. Now, do you remember, those of you who saw my Dell Latitude XPI CD MMX video will remember me telling you that I was going to show you another laptop that had this feature. And this is the one, the Hi-Grade Notino AS7400. This does have two infrared ports, and like the Latitude, you actually do have to select one or the other. You can't just plug into whichever port takes your fancy. However, on the other side, it's a PS2 mouse and keyboard port. This has a pull-down door. Well, it has a slidey thing that connects to a docking station connector. This machine's never been used with a dock, so on the advice of the inside of the lid, which I will show you, the protective tape has actually been kept on the actual docking station part. Okay, now if I close this door, I can actually take this latch. Well, I could do it with the door open, but I can reveal to you now the rest of the parts on the machine. we have RS232 serial, S-video out, IEEE 1280 for parallel part. Obviously that's the infrared part. There is a modem port, and despite what the advert for this machine said on eBay, there is in fact a USB port. There's the docking station port, a VGA port, and now here's something that you never see on a laptop, a game port. This makes this laptop rather unique. I must admit, I do quite like it. I've not tested the game port yet, but I do plan to do so. On the left hand side of the machine, we have a volume knob, which is always quite useful to have. But before that, I need to find out what some of these are. I wonder if this machine's got some sort of rudimentary surround sound in it or something. I really couldn't tell you. But what I can tell you is it has 4 audio inputs. 2 PC card Type 2 slots, or 1 PC card Type 3 slot, a vent, volume knob, and a floppy disk drive. And unfortunately the lid catches seem to be a bit broken. But that is not a problem. And while it doesn't need the Ukrainian weightlifting team to actually lift the machine, sheesh kebab, it is quite a heavy beast. Okay, so now I've kind of shown you what the outside of the machine looks like. What about I show you what the inside looks like? Now, as is usual for this style of laptop, you have a screen. It's a 14-inch 1024 by 768. But underneath, you have an LCD screen, kind of like the B-slit. Also reminds me of my best friend's former Fujitsu Siemens Lifebook that he used to have. It was a Pentium M, I do believe, 1.6 gigahertz. That thing was amazing. I loved that thing. It was a brilliant machine in every sense of the word. Every time I see one of these types of displays, it kind of reminds me of it. Oh yeah, I know what other machine had that type of display. It was the Canon InnovaBook 200 LS or 220 LS. I forgot what model number it is now. Ah, yeah. Now on the inside, you have a keyboard, then you've got your speakers built into the palm rest. Just kind of regular laptop speakers really, but they'll do the job. Now, oh yeah, and then you've got the trackpad. Unfortunately, the trackpad is starting to show signs of age. The buttons, you have to press it like you mean it. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to plug this in. There we go. Now, I think the time has come. We should power it on. But before we do that, the advert did say that there was no onboard Ethernet, and it's right. And that if we wanted it, we would have to add some type of PCMCIA card. How about this one? Put it in the bottom slot, that's where it was installed before. And make sure to connect a networking cable up to it. There we go. And now we switch on. So this machine, it's just got, you know, it's just kind of like, doesn't have an OEM logo on it. Just a regular BIOS. Now one thing that's really interesting that I can tell you about this machine is the lid says Hi-Grade, but it wasn't built by Hi-Grade. However, nor was it built by a company that didn't necessarily not care about building laptops. This machine was built, oh yeah, you can see it there, it's initialized in the PC card. That's what that do means on laptop computers. This machine was built by Asus. So, and in the United States, I believe it was sold. In fact, yes, it was sold by Asus in different markets as the Asus F7400. So this is basically an Asus laptop. It shares exactly the same chassis and everything. The only thing that separates this computer from the Asus one is the badge. Nothing else on it is different at all. So I mean, the speakers do get some sort of volume, but they don't seem as full-bodied as the speakers that come with the Compact Armada. So, yeah. However, as you can see, I'm running Windows 98. You know, as you can see, I am running Windows 98. But, you know, I still actually have a few other pieces of software installed. I do like 98. What the advert also didn't tell you that this computer is a Pentium 3 500 MHz, which is nice. And yeah, like it said, it's got 256 megs of RAM. It's got an ATI Rage Pro LT graphics chipset. That, with the game part, tells me that this is more of a home machine rather than business. But I mean, and I'm not sure that it would have came standard with 256 megs of RAM. But it certainly would have been really quite expensive to actually run. Well, to actually buy. Okay, now some programs I have. Accessories, the usual ones. I've got JAWS, which is actually a screen reader. So, in fact, I'll start that up now.
Demonstration of JAWS for Windows is ready. For screen sensitive help, press Escape, Taskbar, Freedom Scientific, Escape, Task Escape. Taskbar. Left Windows, Start menu, New Office, Open Office, Windows up, Programs sub, Accessories sub menu.
Why don't I let the computer read out what programs it has running on it? Let's turn the volume up.
JAWS 3.71 sub, Accessories sub, JAWS 3.71 sub menu, K-Million sub menu, Magic 8.02 sub menu.
That's a screen magnifier, I'll show you that.
Microsoft Auto Root sub menu, Microsoft Clip Gallery sub menu, Microsoft Games sub menu.
And within Microsoft Games I have
Midtown Madness, Motocross Madness 2, Microsoft Greetings sub menu, Microsoft Image Composer sub menu, Microsoft Reference sub menu, Microsoft Reference sub menu.
And with a Microsoft Reference I have
Bookshelf 99A, Encarta 99 Encyclopedia, Encarta Research Organizer, Encarta World Atlas 99. Install Microsoft Encarta Research Organizer. Install Microsoft Internet Explorer. Microsoft Encarta Resource Center. Microsoft Interactive CD Sampler.
Okay.
Microsoft Reference sub-menu.
As well as all that I have
Microsoft Works sub-menu. Online Services sub-menu. Startup sub-menu. WinImage sub-menu.
And the reason I have an old version of WinImage running on here is because, like I said in my video about, I can't mind which video I said it in, but Windows 7, either my USB floppy disk drive or Windows 7, one of the two do not like reading from or writing to 720k floppy disks. And I have things that, you know, I have applications that require such a disk. So, I need to be able to read from and write to them. By the way, here's my USB floppy drive. Like I said, I need to be able to read and write to 720k disks. Now, traditionally, 1.4 megabyte floppy disks, floppy disk drives have been able to read and write to the the smaller 720k format. So basically, I use WinImage to back up floppies and image them. On this machine, I'll use it to sort out 720k disks. As well as all that, I have
Internet Explorer, Microsoft Works, Microsoft Access, Microsoft Binder, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Front Page, Microsoft Money, Microsoft Outlook Newsreader, Microsoft Outlook, Microsoft Photo Editor, Microsoft Picture Express 2.0.
Should maybe let it finish.
Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Publisher 98, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Works Calendar, MS-DOS Prompt, Outlook Express, Windows Explorer, Windows Media Player.
That's version 9 of Windows Media Player. How about we go into Word? And I'll show what JAWS is capable of.
Microsoft Word, enter, leaving menus, start button.
Not really changed much. Still uses eloquence to this
The
thing.
JAWS help topic for Microsoft Word. Press insert plus F1 twice quickly. Use insert plus the letter H for help for JAWS hotkeys for MS Word. For a list of MS Word shortcut keys, use insert plus W. Microsoft Word dash document 1. Document 1. Page 1. Edit.
I like that.
The following MS Word shortcut keys may be useful. To create a new document, use Ctrl plus N. To open an existing document, use Ctrl plus O. To save a document, use Ctrl plus S. To print a document, use Ctrl plus P. To undo the last edit command, use Ctrl plus Z. To repeat the last edit command, use Ctrl plus Y. To cut the selected text to the clipboard, use Ctrl plus X. To copy the selected text to the clipboard, use Ctrl plus C. To paste text from the clipboard into a document, use Ctrl plus V. To select the entire document, use Ctrl plus A. To search for specific words or phrases, use Ctrl plus F. To find and replace specific words or phrases, use Ctrl plus H. To go to a specific line, paragraph, or page, use Ctrl plus G. To center text, use Ctrl plus E. To left justify text, use Ctrl plus L. To right justify text, use Ctrl plus R. To justify text, use Ctrl plus J. To change the point size of the font, use Ctrl plus Shift plus P. To change the font type, use Ctrl plus Shift plus F. To delete the current word, use Ctrl plus Delete. To delete the previous word, use Ctrl plus backspace. To bold text, use Ctrl plus B. To italicize text, use Ctrl plus I. To underline text, use Ctrl plus U. To insert a hyperlink, use Ctrl plus K. To check spelling or grammar, use F7. To name and save a document, use F12.
Do you know what? I'm not needed anymore. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna enjoy my cup of tea. I'm just gonna let the laptop do it. Nah, I'm only kidding on.
Point size, menu bar, font size combo box, 10, 7, 2, enter, document 1, edit, leaving font, menu bar, font, A-R-I-A-L. Enter, document 1, edit, leaving menu. Point size, menu bar, 3, 6, enter, leaving menu bar, document 1.
Let's type something.
Space O-U-A-R-E space R-E-A-D-I-N-G space T-H-I-S space M-E-S-S-A-G-E-N-N space A-N space O-U space A-R-E space N-O-T-I-L-L-I-T-E-R-A-T-E space O-R-R-O-F-I-N space A-E-S-E-S-E space O-F-A-A-V-I-N A-S-Space A-I-N-G-K-I-L-S space A-O-N-N com space bill B-I-L-L-B-F-O-R-E-V-E-R space D-O-R-D space R-E-A-O-N-A-I-N D-O-U-N-E-N-T com B-I-L-L-Y space C-O-O-R-E space I-L-L space E-A-T space A space R-A-N-C-I-D space P-I-Z-Z-A space P-I-D-D period space J-U-S-T space K-I-D-D-I-N space O-N exclaim. Just kidding on. A.
Now I'm just wondering how I got Jaws to read.
Alt Shift Space menu active. Restore. Leaving menu this. If you are reading this message, then you are not illiterate in the sense of having basic reading skills. Also, for every word read on this document, Billy Coor will eat a rancid pizza pie. Just kidding on.
Sorry, I saw Billy Coor's last video. Shut up, you.
Alt F4, Microsoft Word document 1, yes button.
Would you like to save the changes made to Microsoft Word document 1? Yes, no, cancel.
That's what it's supposed to say.
N, Microsoft Word document 1.
Anyway, as I was saying, I've seen Billy Coor's latest video, and it is amazing. Really. I'd go and watch it. After this video, obviously. Just watch this first. But it's on the Dell Dimension 2350. Obviously, he did a video. He's done another video since then about the Great Blizzard of 1993 that happened on March the 13th, right across the east coast of America. But before that, he did a video on the Dell Dimension 2350, and he showed it dual boot in Windows 98 2nd Edition and Windows XP. So that's kind of inspired me on this video and a few things that you'll actually see.
Alt F4 with JAWS for space.
Right, okay, so that's JAWS. Obviously, there's options you can change in that to make it a bit less insufferable. However, it is fantastic if you are fully blind. So for, I think, 40 minutes at least, a blind person can use this computer. And that is pretty good. It's pretty good that Freedom Scientific still keep old versions of JAWS and Magic available on their website for download. Anyway, I'm gonna show you Magic, which is a screen magnifier. Here we go. Magic repents at the authorization. Yeah, shut up. Magic what?
Magic Screen Freedom Scientific Authorization Manager Magic Report.
You started up again? Listen, I didn't want to listen to your crap, okay? Right.
Speech.
I can actually...
Speech. Disabled.
Look, pal, I ken I've got disabilities, but that's no for you to start calling me out, okay? Seriously. I loved you. You were my friend. Nah, I'm only kidding. I do really like this laptop. I don't know what it is about, kind of Pentium 3 era laptops running Windows 98, but I just think they're awesome, I could never see anything, I could never see my way to letting any bad come to this machine. I love it. But here's Screen Magic, and I've got to say, now, that things have evolved rather nicely. For example, text, if you zoom in here, text is not as bad actually as you'd think it is, but it is quite pixelated in a wee sense. Back then we didn't have X font, but then again this isn't zoom text. We can actually inverse the colours. Let's zoom out a wee bit actually. You can... I don't know what that does actually. I've never... This is my first time using it. I've installed these programs for another video that I'm going to be making. You do have like the lens option. It's kind of like what the Microsoft mouse driver used to provide in the days of Vista and XP. You've got density, which basically it's like a docked lens, and then you've got split, which is It basically works in exactly the same way as the Microsoft Windows magnifier, but just a lot more dignified. The top screen actually scrolls, whereas Windows magnifier, it just actually squeezes everything. But with this, you still get the full screen realistic. My favourite has always been the full screen magnifier, though. This is amazing. I'd love to get fully working copies of JAWS and Magic that'll run on older systems, especially Magic, because you know, I mean, this is, well, it's just the best, really. Anyway, let's see. This is a lot like Zoom text. But it seems, obviously, you know, the game's moved on quite a bit now. You've got things like colour replace. You've got, you know, you can have colour on colour. You can have 2 different colours. You can even set the screen into black and white. And on some of them, you can actually have a tinge, you know, almost like you're putting an overlay on the screen, which is really good if you've got dyslexia. Because, you know, people with dyslexia, they can read on, you know, some people, they find it easier to read with different, you know, coloured backgrounds. So, I mean, I had a friend who had a program that put an orange. Basically, it was kind of like she'd got an orange. She'd basically got the clear plastic that you can get. She'd basically put. It was the program kind of acted like, you know, it emulated like she put an orange sheet over the screen. Now I did a test, and you know, if I was dyslexic, which sometimes I have actually suspected. Just never really been tested, but it would, because I've always been really into my reading, but it would all, yeah, let me think what I'm trying to say. I do find it slightly easier to read off of green backgrounds, which is why the green screen computer is absolutely brilliant for me. It's just if the screens weren't so darn small all the time. But yeah, so, I mean, we've got JAWS and Magic on here, and like I said, well, actually, I think I'm going to tell you, Billy Corr has actually set me the challenge. He's basically set me the challenge that I set him about nearly 2 years ago now. I set Billy a challenge to investigate the accessibility solutions that were available on 1995 Packard Bells. Now, unfortunately, he wasn't able to do this. However, sometime recently, he actually set me the challenge to show people the assistive technology solutions available in the Windows 95-98 era. And this is kind of, you know, the whole JAWS thing and Magic screen magnification is kind of part and parcel to that. So I will be taking a more in-depth look at screen readers, magnifiers, and other things that help make computers of this era, from where this laptop is from, easier to use. So look out for that. Anyway, with this computer, I could stand around talking about it, or I could throw down with some games. And I think I'm going to do the latter. At least I am, as soon as I found all my discs. Because I had them. Oh, I sure did. Sure did have those discs. Just going to bear with me one moment, folks. Here we go. Now this was inspired by Billy Corr. What I'm about to do now, was inspired by Billy's latest video. I'm not going to play Midtown Madness 2, however I am going to play the classic Midtown Madness 1. So, I've installed it on here, I've got the CD ready to go. So I'm just gonna plop it in there into the system's DVD-ROM drive. There we go. The theory is I shouldn't need to do anything. I've not, stupidly enough, I've not connected a joypad to this thing. Probably should have done. Alright, I'm going to turn this down. See, I remember back in the past when Microsoft were always accused of making really substandard games. But, you know, I mean, I just don't think that that's necessarily true. Flight Simulator, that was always an institution. You've got things like this game, Midtown Madness, Motocross Madness. I think people just kind of saw Microsoft Football and got really annoyed, because that really was really bad. We got that with the Compaq Presario 2240, and yeah, it wasn't the best game in the world. However, that didn't stop me spending a morning playing it. It was, I remember it was the day before I was due to go back to school in 2003. I wasn't due back until lunchtime, so I basically spent the morning listening. Sorry, like I was saying. Oops. Already failed. Now, unfortunately, this game, there are certain lag issues with this laptop. So, you know, I probably don't think that the graphics card's up to this game. However, the graphics card is not necessarily a big problem on this machine, as you will see in a minute. Whoops-a-daisy. Billy Core made this look so easy. Like I was saying, yeah, I didn't stop me playing Microsoft Football the morning that, you know, I was due to go back to school, and, yeah, while listening to Queen, because I do enjoy Queen's music. But this game is amazing. And this is how you don't drive, ladies and gentlemen. And what I seem to have done here is turned my Volkswagen Beetle into a steam train.
Oh, your car is total. Game over. It's high noon in the Windy City. Get ready to head downtown for a showdown.
Oh, that is so much better for me. I don't think this will actually give you the cockpit view. What on earth? It's quite funny actually. I mean, a lot of cars that didn't have the cockpit view. You know, I mean that. Well, actually, yeah, Talked 2 I remember having it, but it's now obviously available in Microsoft. Well, in Forza Motorsport. Forza is amazing. I mean, you know, the driving purists will obviously prefer Gran Turismo, but Forza is nearly as good. You know, I do enjoy playing Forza. I'd take that. I can actually play a lot better with this view. You know, I can actually see directly what's in front of me, rather than seeing a pathetic Volkswagen Beetle.
Damage penalty. Time to hand over the keys.
Oh really? Do you really? Okay. I'm gonna let's try this one more time.
Head downtown for a showdown.
See ya. That's right. That wasn't supposed to happen. Oh yeah, it tells me to go there, but look where everyone else is going. Have I missed a checkpoint or something? Really? Forget it. I'm not going back there.
Damage penalty. You're right.
Okay, so I've had enough of that. So that's the original Midtown Madness CD. It's absolutely brilliant game. Now here's something that I often enjoy playing the demo of in PC Guide magazines. Microsoft Motocross Madness 2. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick this disc in now, and we're going to play a bit of that. This will actually work a lot better with this particular laptop than what Motocross Madness, no, that Midtown Madness does. But you'll actually see some quite striking similarities between this and Midtown. I'm just going to hit play. And I'm going to tell it to use the expert at play. 98 AGP. I remember that actually, expert at play. Great big Microsoft logo across the screen. Rainbow Studios. I'm just going to go Ballast Stunts Enduro National. I remember Billy on his videos like, what is Enduro? Oh, nice. And yeah, I've got my Yamaha no, not Yamaha R6. Y2250. Yeah, something's in the bottom of that teacup. What on earth? Okay, so this is just kind of, I can take it at my own pace. I don't know what's going on here. My computer's just came back to life. Okay, never mind that. That's just remember, folks. Motorcycling into trees. That's not going to get you very far in life. Okay. It's a lot more advanced than motocross, because I used to play the original Motocross Madness on the 2001 custom belt. Like I said, out of the PC Guide magazines. Do you know what, I'm not even going to follow the arrow, I'm just going to hoon it around. Actually, it really bothers me when the arrow's pointed the wrong way. Seriously? I could not see that tree. So I've had enough of that as well. But yeah, so that is Microsoft Motocross Madness. And before we go, I'll just show you one last thing on this machine. I do have it connected up to my home network, yes. So that means that I can actually take this computer online. Do you want to bring a... No. Whatever it's asking, no. So here is Chameleon, and what I'm going to do is just go to actually I'm not going to try and use this machine to go on YouTube because, I mean, with a 500 megahertz Pentium 3 with 256 megs of RAM, it's just not enough. Okay, so here's oldcomputers.com. It's a website dedicated to, like, adverts, I think. Do you have a load of old machines? Some of which I've never seen. We've got 3D models. That's pretty exciting stuff. So, this has been a wee look at the Hi-Grade Notino AS7400 laptop computer. I hope you all have enjoyed watching this video. Thank you for actually having, thank you for doing so. And I hope you all, if you all liked my work, then I hope you will consider subscribing to my channel. Instructions on how to do so will, of course, follow. While you're there, if you've not done so, please stick around and watch my back videos, my older videos, and I hope you'll all join me for my next video. Thank you for watching.